Parade watchers, it is time to remake another character from season 1. Today we'll be looking into the most iconic purple dinosaur that you just may be leaving, which that is Barney from one of the most iconic TV shows, Barney and Friends. Ever since 1988, this show has been beloved by children with the great big hug on stage for more than 30 years. But now we get to have some super-duper fun as we look in his history as a giant balloon in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. But to keep in mind of all of you, I'm only going to be talking about the 2 Barney balloons. We start up in 1994, where Barney made his parade debut with the Lions Group and later Lyric Studios and later Hit Entertainment as the sponsors. In terms of his design is what a shock, which I call it generic, of him just waving to the crowd.
Here is your favorite lovable dino, Barney. We had him on the ground at Herald Square, now he's taking flight.
This is the beloved Barney's premiere as a balloon furnished by the Lions Group.
I love you. And the crowd is going wild for it. He's a good guy. Flying from skyscraper tall fellow. He's filled with 12,000 cubic feet of helium and some 20 gallons of paint to make him just the right shade of purple.
And that'll keep him flying high, Willard. Check out Barney's giant arm waving to the crowd. Waving to that little girl right now.
Katie, it's time to take a little dip, too. Now as we sing, bye-bye, Barney, we love you. My favorite color, purple. Isn't he nice?
NBC's coverage of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade continues after these messages with Blossom star Joey Lawrence, Grammy-winning pop star Natalie Cole, and balloon galore, including Clifford, the big red dog.
He would continue for the next 2 years in 1995 and 1996.
Yankee Dragon, I love it. Even before dragons, dinosaurs roamed the earth. The only one is left alive, and we're so lucky, Katie. He's so gentle and purple. Barney. And if he forgets his skis, Barney's tall enough to reach into his 6-year-old partner with it against him.
That's pretty darn tall, Willard. Barney's pretty young for a dinosaur, by the way. Only 200 million years old next month. He can't even vote yet, but of course kids don't care. They're crazy about him and his friends BJ and Baby Bob, too. They're loving every inch of purple furnished by the Lions Group. And Barney's balloon captain, Michael Garucci, is delighted to hear it. Do you know where Barney lives, Willard?
Of course. Barney lives in your imagination, which Barney says is a super-duper place to be. Barney knows you can go anywhere and do anything in your imagination, even dream of stupendous parades like this.
Willard, David Rohr is director of Pennsylvania's Carlisle High School Big Green Machine Marching Band. Woo, how's that for a title? And they're a well-oiled machine at that. The Rent-A-Kid fundraiser was a hit. A nearby Harrisburg business rented 70 band kits. Willard, Barney is big. I'm talking big. He's not your garden variety superstar. We're talking Megasaurus. And now the so-called Elvis of the preschool set has entered the parade as a balloon provided by Lyric Studios. Barney joined us for the first time back in 1994. That would put it at his age at what? I think 200 million and three?
I could do a special on him.
Broadway salutes Hollywood, from the Silence to that devilish Woody Woodpecker and that gorgeous Shirley Jones. Party on when the Macy's Parade continues live on NBC. NBC's telecast of Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is being sponsored in part by Cotton Incorporated, who wishes you and your family peace and joy in the holiday season. Cotton, the fabric of our lives.
Now we come to the highlight of this video in 1997. Not only to promote his feature film, Barney's Great Adventure the movie, set to be released on April 3rd, 1998, but unfortunately, it was a very windy parade for all the balloons, as all of them had to be low to the ground for safety. But it wasn't safe enough for a couple of them. Barney ended up being one of them. But interesting enough, the Barney balloon was actually delayed at the parade's starting line, as he was supposed to be behind the Allen High School band from Allen, Texas. But that was because of the Quick Bunny balloon that was in front of Barney at 77th Street had a difficult time getting into his position behind another band before the Barney's Great Adventure float. But because of the winds, the handlers and pilots did knock out the position where the Barney balloon was supposed to be at. So instead, Barney was pushed back behind the Westering Ho float with Tim McGraw. But then came Times Square. The winds were getting worse and worse for the handlers and pilots. So much so, they had to hold Barney so tightly, some people had to lay down on the road to make him still. But this happened. As the side of his body went through a light pole, causing a big massive tear, and because of his damages, he couldn't continue the group. So the handlers, the pilots, and a few New York City police officers had to stab him down to make him fully deflated. After this disaster, Barney was removed from the parade. This will be bad for Barney, but he was not the only one that got removed from the parade. The Pink Panther, Quick Bunny, Sonic the Hedgehog, and one of the balloons that was severely damaged, with the latter one causing a serious accident that made the last two balloons removed from the parade. As for the parade's broadcast on NBC, when a balloon does not reach Herald Square, NBC shows either a test flight footage if it's the balloon's debut, or show a previous year when the balloon was at Herald Square. For Barney, the footage that was used for him was 1994.
Trying to get into the act, that prehistoric purple people pleaser, the balloon Barney. This stupendous balloon is furnished by the folks at Lyric Studios.
Of course, unfortunately, Barney had to succumb to the winds as well. This is on tape. Balloon Barney's fourth great adventure down Broadway. So this five-time Emmy winner's an old friend by now. 200 million years old, to be exact.
Do you guys know where Barney lives?
Well, I heard after he wrapped up the film, he bought a bed in Malibu.
Oh, tell him, Al.
Barney lives in your imagination.
Oh, I knew that. You
You know, all the balloons that are vertical are the ones that have had the most trouble with the winds, and that's why we've had those problems.
The westward Ho float is rolling down the trail and aboard the
In 1998, this was the first year for all the balloons' new rules for their size limits, the expansion of the handlers, and have two cars to help control the balloons. Surprisingly, despite his accident from the previous year, Barney was one of the balloons that got to stay in the parade. And it was pretty exciting, as 1998 marks Barney's 10th anniversary, thanks to the TV show Barney and the Backyard Gang. But like the previous year, it was heavy winds with the addition of heavy rain, which managed to deflate 4 balloons before they even started the parade. But luckily, Barney managed to go through the entire route.
With a few more peanut butter and jelly sandwiches under his belt, the Barney balloon, that prehistoric purple people pleaser, furnished by Lyric Studios. Try saying
That's a tongue twister, wasn't it? Everybody's favorite T-Rex is roaming down Broadway for his 5th stupendous year, Katie.
And Barney Thanksgiving Hugs is super-de-duper, and his young friends agree. Boy, although you have to climb 6 flights of stairs to throw your arms around this Barney, do you know where Barney lives, Matt? Don't even think about saying Jurassic Park.
Then I'm out of guesses, no.
All right, well, Barney actually lives in your imagination.
That was my second choice.
Marietta, Georgia's Walton High School marching band performed it.
He would continue on in 1999 when he promoted Barney's Night Before Christmas and the live stage show Barney's Musical Castle.
The super-duper Millennium is Balloon Barney, also furnished by Lyric Studios. The real Barney, by the way, will be roaming the U.S. and Canada on a 2-year tour of the live show Barney's Musical Castle. If Barney weren't already a star, he might experience a little age discrimination in the workplace because he's 200 million years old.
Well, he looks pretty good, Katie, and much taller than any T-Rex in history. He's half the size of the Museum of Natural History, just 2 blocks up from the parade starting line. He's stupendous.
Red Hot Recording Stars 98 Degrees, followed by Santa sledding into Herald Square when Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade continues.
He will continue on for the next 3 years until 2002 when he celebrated the 10th anniversary Barney and Friends on PBS Kids, and this first version will be retired after that.
Well, thank you very much, Barney. Now check out the stupendous one as he roams down Broadway, high-fiving the crowd for the 6th consecutive year. Balloon Barney really is stupendous, 3 times taller than any T-Rex in history.
Barney is furnished by Lyric Studios, and his super-duper advice for his millions of fans, well, always be kind and be sure to say please and thank you.
And be sure to visit your dentist at least twice every million years. This dino star who lives in your imagination, like all of today's balloons, was brought to life through the imagination of the creative staff at Macy's Design Studio.
That's how Cheshire High School band. All right, rock on, Barney, BJ, and Baby Bob. Following in his own footsteps, it's our old friend.
We get it.
In fact, you make a friend like this, what, once every 200 million years? Balloon Barney is furnished by Hip Entertainment, and our prehistoric pal proves that wisdom does in fact come with age. Barney's been a friend and teacher to kids in more than 100 countries on 6 continents.
How does the purple one get his kicks? Well, the real Barney danced with the Rockettes in a show that was a Gigantosaurus sellout. Balloon Barney had to sit that one out, however. He can barely duck his head into that 60-foot-high grand foyer of Radio City Music Hall.
You all know his favorite saying.
It's super-duper!
And you're scary up here. And his birthplace in your imagination.
It's Macys Parade number 3 for Jerry Hoover. All right. Rock on, Barney, BJ, and Baby Bob. Meanwhile, waving his way down Broadway, that prehistoric purple people pleaser himself, Balloon Barney, furnished by Hit Entertainment. Everybody's favorite T-Rex is roaming down Broadway for his 9th stupendous year. The longest running balloon in this 76th anniversary parade.
You know that Barney is big on old world values like being kind and saying please and thank you, and he thinks giving hugs is dynamite. Although you'd have to climb 6 flights of stairs to throw your arms around Balloon Barney.
Now, for any dino dolls watching Balloon Barney today, some personals: height, 3 times taller than any T-Rex in history. Favorite food, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And favorite saying, super-duper. Birthplace, your imagination.
Piscataway, New Jersey.
In total, the first version of Barney has only made 9 appearances. In the following year, in 2003, Hit Entertainment decided to bring back Barney as an all-new balloon. This time in his second version, the balloon is called Strike Up the Band Barney. In his second version, he is wearing a marching hat and carrying his own horn.
Hey, looks like another director is ready to roll. Check out our 200-million-year-old purple pal, the brand new Strike Up the Band Barney, furnished by Hit Entertainment. Barney's tooting his own horn, which is taller than 3 of today's marching band leaders. Actually, their entire bands could fit inside this dino director.
And we hope that Barney doesn't get a big head, Katie. His colorful blue and gold hat is a size 196. Kind of like it, never mind. This year's super-de-duper Barney may be saying it with the super-de-duper, may be saying it with music, but the message forever remains the same. It's all about thank you, please, and I love you.
Lizzie McGuire's Hillary Duff, recording superstars Maya and Aaron Carter, the cast of Sesame Street. Don't miss a beat, live here on NBC.
He would continue on in 2004 when he promoted Barney's Colorful World live.
Alright, let the drums roll out, let the trumpet call, and strike up the band Barney, furnished by Hit Entertainment. It's been dancing into the hearts of children for 16 years. That's just a start for a dino like Barney, because he's 200 million years old.
And much taller than any T-Rex in history. He's half the size of the Museum of Natural History, 2 blocks up from the parade starting line. He is super-de-duper.
I'm so glad you had to say that. Barney's lessons are timeless. As a helping hand for growing children, he'll be encouraging kids to share, care, and of course, learn for millions of years to come.
The Viking marching band from New York.
And his last appearance will be in 2005, but despite Barney's leg was torn by a tree along with a dented nose. And then he'll be immediately retired after that.
Okay, stepping out to the beat of the parade, that's the historic people pleaser, Strike Up the Band Barney, furnished by Hit Entertainment. Who needs a big brass band when you've got Barney's horn, which is taller than 3 of today's band directors?
Our purple guy's bigger than a T-Rex, which of course Katie will tell you ate meat and grass and plants. Barney prefers good old peanut butter and jelly with a big glass of milk, and today Barney would need a glass as tall as a telephone pole.
In Barney's 200 million years, sharing, caring, and learning have become a few of his favorite things, and since he first danced into their hearts, he's been a favorite of children everywhere.
Like all today's marching bands...
In total, Strike Up the Band Barney has only made 3 appearances. If you combine with the old and the new versions of Barney, Barney has only made 12 appearances in the parade's history. However, he still has another history here. From the incident that he had in 1997, a person on YouTube had downloaded this video called Thanksgiving 97, the day Barney was killed, which this video has been gaining a lot of views, plus millions to be exact, and this video has been going very viral as of today of 2021. Look, I know it was an accident, but this show has been beloved by kids, but despised by parents. For those people who don't like Barney or hate him, saying that he deserves that.